probably the one I had the most nostalgia for. Like, I remember seeing the first one a few times and how big of a deal it was to have that level of ridiculous violence, but this game just expanded on everything the first one did. The first one felt almost like a tech demo or like a beta test, but MK2 fleshed out so many things and just made this like the franchise that it is today. I'm here in the service menu because I just want to show that this is going to be on the hardest difficulty. I'm going to be doing a 1cc attempt. Tried learning this run a few years back. It never really came together. Like, I've done it a few times on the default setting, but clearing a few more of those inspired me to want to go on the harder difficulties and working my way up to very hard. I've now cleared this with 6 characters, but for the sake of estimate, I'm going to keep it with the character that I can do this with the fastest. Also in the event that, you know, stuff can happen. Show up for a little awesome intro here. 500 years ago, Shang Tsung was banished to Earthrealm. With the aid of Goro, he was able to unbalance the Furies and doom the planet to a chaotic existence. By seizing control of the Shaolin tournament, he tried to tip the scales of order towards chaos. Only 7 warriors survived the battles, and Shang Tsung's scheme would come to a violent end at the hands of Liu Kang. Facing execution for his failure and the apparent death of Goro, Shang convinces Shao Kahn to grant him a second chance. His new plan is to lure his enemies to compete in the Outworld, where they will meet certain death by Shao Kahn himself. This is also where the game just broke big ground in terms of the story it was trying to tell. The first one was based it was just based on a fighting tournament. It was basically Bloodsport as a video game. Whereas this one, they're like, oh, we have other dimensions and we have all these horrible looking demons, so they're gonna give it this huge sci-fi aspect too. All that said, this game is... I have issues with this game today, especially as a competitive fighting game, but as like, purely for nostalgic purposes, this game is timeless. Go ahead and pop our credits in. So I have, on hardest difficulty, cleared this with the following: Reptile, Cage, Sub-Zero, Baraka, Scorpion, and the character we're going to be playing today, Jax. As I mentioned before, his run was the first one I completed, and it's also the fastest, so I never mind sticking with him. Plus, it's just a cool strat to show off. So the AI has this really weird manipulation tick, where if you're really close to them and you jump back, they'll freeze in place and then they'll jump after you, which allows you to anti-air them. I'm going to demonstrate it right here. Oh. What's that? Now, why it causes them to turn around like that much I don't know. But it's a giveaway in that it means that did work.
Jax wins. Fatality.
First fatality in the Deadpool.
Round 1.
Alright, I'm actually glad we're seeing Melina early. Melina is one of the 2 gatekeepers for Jax. That's also a combo, by the way. Doing roll into Psy like that, like you can't duck it and you can't. Well, you can't duck. You may be able to block it though. Didn't test that. Melina's a keeper just because of how fast she is. If I'm just waiting and crouch for her to get manipulated over, she can just roll me as like in the neutral, and that's really, really bad because that leads to a ton of damage. Melina also competitively is just one of the best characters in the game anyway, so that doesn't hurt either. Spikes with you. Oh no.
Fatality.
I pressed 0 on that restarted my timer. I apologize. I guess I'll go with that one. But under 15 is probably not that big of a deal. So my apologies for that. Rock, a fairly easy opponent. You have to jump in.
Jax wins.
I was trying to reach for the down arrow key so if it doesn't slip, but it doesn't happen sometimes. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I saw Drum mentioning about Baraka's strats. Unfortunately, Baraka, while fun, is very slow, especially compared to Jax.
Finish him.
Pop goes the weasel.
Jax wins.
Baraka also has the incredible downside of his best strat being completely unsafe. Jax's is, unlike that, very safe. That's unfortunate. You always want to get jump kick into the air throw. Takes off a third of their health. Leaves them laying.
Jax.
All that good stuff.
Flawless victory.
Also, I love Jax's alternate color here. The blue is just really awesome. What do you think? Red's a classic. I prefer blue. Come here. There we go. I think I might have to let him throw me out here. Yeah, if I get stuck in the corner and I can't get out, I actually let them throw me.
Finish him.
There we go.
Jax wins.
Paper dolls!
Friendship.
Got that input like probably right at the last frame, hence why it launched that early.
Fight.
Unfortunate. Cage wants to be that guy. Cage's shadow kick and anti-air some characters at the start of the match. Jax being one of them just because of how huge he is.
Jax wins. Round 2, fight.
It wasn't again until 3. Get the fireballs out of his system. Cage is a pretty lackluster opponent for the most part. The only really annoying thing about him is the fact that he has an anti-air fireball. I'm trying to go for Babality there and didn't get it. Katana's not a keeper, but can be fairly annoying. Particularly because of the fact that we just can't jump at her because of fan lift. She will just never let us jump at her, ever. Unless we do this specifically. There we go.
Jax wins. Round 2, fight.
Fortunate. Sometimes they beat your jump kick at the start. What can you do about that? It's definitely better to wait out the jump kick.
Finisher.
Nice.
Jax wins.
Maybe we need to be further away from the Babality. I guess sweep range just isn't enough.
Round
Alright,
1,
Lou is
fight.
not someone I would consider to be a keeper, but there are some things you have to do against him that you don't necessarily have to do against other characters. For example, against Lou, you absolutely have to block the start of the round. Doesn't matter what character you're playing.
Jax.
Because if you start the round with bicycle kick, if you jump, it's gonna catch you and it does a lot of damage. Bicycle kick's the only move in the game that does more damage than an uppercut. Oh, thank you, that was unfortunate. That's basically a frame trap right there. There we go. Unfortunately, missed that.
Finish.
No. Also, best pet fatal ever, don't at me. I just love how ridiculous it is that they're just willing to realign the camera to be like, yeah, this is sick. Play our video game.
Round 1, fight.
Alright, so back to keepers. Reptile is definitely a keeper because of invincibility. He has this move where he can actually just go invisible and we can no longer see his sprite on the screen. If he does that at the start of the round and we can't land a jump kick to have him block,
Fight.
it's really bad for us. But if we get this, then we're in good shape. But like most things in this game, it's random. There we go. Give me those. I want them.
Flawless victory. Fatality. Round 1, fight.
Or Kombat Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero's kind of basic. I shouldn't have done that though. I should have done Roundhouse a little faster. Slide is the only thing that's actually obnoxious because Slide beats out us just crouching to try to manipulate him in. Like, I'm not going to try and crouch block because it takes more time to come out of crouching and blocking to be able to jump back
Fight.
than it would be just sitting there. I'll leave myself open to Slide for that. Slide is really fast, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. Yeah, Kano and Sonya just shackled up in the background.
Wins. Flawless.
Yay!
Fatality.
I didn't do that one again, but hey.
Round 1, fight.
Not really a lot to say about Raiden because this isn't version 2.1. I am playing this on the final revision, which was 2.1. In 2.1, Raiden has a glitch where his throw throws you in the same direction that he grabbed you. So if I'm on the left and he grabs me facing left, he throws me back to the left. So if he puts me in the corner, that throw becomes an infinite. I've lost runs to that 2.1. Quite frankly, no thanks. 2.1 is the ideal version for speedrunning for a number of reasons. That's not good. I gotta be a little bit judicious there. Wasn't quite sure what he was doing there. He went off script a couple times, so I had to readjust.
Fatality.
Fill all that out.
Round 1, fight.
See, Kung can be annoying. He does have some really good normals. Particularly standing high kick is an incredibly good anti-air. His fireball is nothing to shout home about. Teleport can be obnoxious if he decides to just keep doing it. Thankfully isn't often. Like from a gameplay standpoint, Kung actually has some really interesting stuff with fireball. He can direction it up and down, but against the AI it doesn't matter. They never do that.
Flawless victory.
There's how I reset the timer earlier, so I'm not doing that again. Alright, so past the... Actually, probably should have taken advantage that I do that as a Jade round, but... Forgot. I've also never beaten Jade with... Or beaten Jade with Jax. It may not actually be an option. So So the Jade fight, and the fight before the question mark, if you win a round using only the low kick button, like you can't press any other buttons at all, then you get to fight Jade. And it's actually a pretty cool feature. It also lets you do attempts to do 1CCs with 2 different characters. So you can play one character up till Jade, and then after you beat Jade, you get to go back to character select screen and pick your character again. I'll take those. Also, love Lou's face there. Ah, you got me. Alright, time for the bosses. Kintaro is random and obnoxious. We're gonna go with a jump kick strat that almost always works for me. So let's hope it does here. Back up, jump in, back up, jump in. Oh, he blocked, that's not good. Okay, that was good. You didn't get too far out of script there. There we go. Okay. It's really scary when that happens. If he ever blocks a jump kick, you are immediately in a ton of trouble. Because he can throw out of block stuff. We don't ever want to see that. The same thing in this corner. Oh, way less efficient doing it in this direction. Alright, we got
Jax.
double flawless, not bad.
Flawless victory.
Alright, and really the 1CC just comes down to the con fight. This fight's very random. I'll try to explain what I can after the first round. Again. We get away from the corner here. Not worth it. Unfortunate. What? That missed?
Shao Kahn.
I've never seen that happen. I guess I won't be explaining that. Gee, thanks for the hitbox game. That was rude. We're getting away. Legit shock there. Never had that happen before. Okay. So I got hit by a thing I've never seen before, and I got randomed out in the second round. Khan does that. I don't know any better strats, unfortunately, unless I'm going to play Melina. If I lose again, I'll switch to it just to show that off, but that was annoying.
Power of Shao Kahn.
Essentially what you do is you jump in and you land and crouch, and an uppercut will beat any move that's not shoulder charge. If he decides to really do shoulder charge, you're just taking the hit. And it's not worth blocking it because it's just going to stagger you back and you can fall into something else. Very unfortunate that.
This world.
Fastest strat is all dice rolls. The actual fastest strat is with Shang Tsung, but it's really execution heavy, and I've not affected it. Wow. Not having it today, huh? It again? Nope. Yeah, I don't understand how that uppercut missed at all. That's brand new for me. Nice projectile. You also can't throw fireballs at him because this spear does entirely too much damage. Like, it's not worth your time. What happens here? There we go.
No.
Still unfortunate he wouldn't have it the first round, but win's a win, right? Hey, Buff, thanks for the good luck. He may never come back. Never, ever, ever. Appreciate the GGs, everybody. Thank you. First non-1CC of the day, but as mentioned, there are better strats for him there. Like, Melina has a, what I was going to show with Melina if I failed again was that you can teleport kick Khan until he just loses, because if he blocks, it has so much pushback that it just sends her all the way across the screen, she can just do it again. He can't fight it. It's basically a free win. Katana also has some really cool strats, but those are also a bit... They're not only execution intensive, but they're also very... require a lot of awareness, and I just don't have the expertise with her yet. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Sonya there. I don't think they... I think Elizabeth Malecki must have just bowed out of Midway by this point. I know she was involved in a lawsuit between 2 and 3, but I don't know if that explains her absence here. Whereas Kano could still be Kano because it was so Richard Devizio. He played Baraka in this game. There's just so much to enjoy about Mortal Kombat. Like, I love this old digitized art feature. Like, it's just such a cool thing to have, and it's never going to be replicated. At least I'm pretty sure it's not going to be. Yo, Uno Squid, saw the resub there. Thank you so much for the 13 months. Got the retro win for that. And Daniel Pacino for the first 2 games. John Turk for the 3rd game. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for MK2. Got one more game left for you. So let's go ahead and get that switched on over. This actually